Welcome fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers, another joy of unboxing today, and it's Infinity, Operation Ice Storm 2-player Introductory Battle Pack by Corvus Belli. And this is an introduction pack to a miniatures skirmish game, which is a sort of hard sci-fi with a bit of anime style thrown in. It's very well regarded among people who love miniatures skirmish games, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. This is the starter pack. It's quite a compact little box, but of course we have full metal miniatures in here, so I think most of the expense probably goes towards the miniatures. The rest have saved a bit on packaging and stuff, so they can get a couple of decent factions to you in the box. So let's have a look inside. First, please excuse my voice. I'm a little bit done over by a cold at the moment. See, I have no strength in my limbs. I can't even get this box out. There we go. So just a thin cardboard box. Let's have a look inside. Here we go. So these are probably the miniatures. Have a look at those in a second. We've got Pan-Oceania and Nomads factions. And we've got 6 20-sided dice. It uses 20-sided dice, this game. So there's some lovely dice. This looks like perhaps a bonus figure. A couple of bonus figures. Not sure, but there's nice metal miniatures there. Let's have a look in here. Now the rules for Infinity are available online. You can download the full rules and all the stats for the figures, so you can even use proxies and get into it straight away. Right, so here's the rulebook, introductory rulebook. And you can see lots of stats here for the different characters. It's a relatively complex set of rules. Oops, go over the other side. Hello, it seems to be in 2 languages. There we go, it's in Spanish as well as English. Corvus Belli, a Spanish company. There's some basic templates here. That's very thin, pretty useless cardboard really. Well, I think I'll be replacing that with some tokens. You can buy acrylic tokens online. These are very, very cheap and obviously just introductory ones. So what we have here, I think, is a battle mat and some buildings. You can also buy these packs of terrain separately. So that just shows you how to build buildings. And there they are. Now again, these are very thin cardboard, as you can see. They're very basic builds. The one clever thing they've done about this with this is that it fits the figure packs. So you can put the figure packs inside for added strength. Of course, you only get 2 figure packs in the game, so yes, this will be a bit flimsy for a while. But anyway, any miniature wargamer worth their salt will probably go out and start buying terrain pretty quickly. There's some more containers. Pretty basic stuff, but again, this is an introductory pack and most of the price is in the metal miniatures. Let's have a look at this map. There we go, just a basic paper map, but quite colourful, good graphics on it, and that should look pretty good with some of the buildings on top of it. Right, here you can see all the scenery set up from the terrain pack that comes with the starter set, the Operation Ice Storm set, and it looks pretty good. I've put the cardboard boxes that held the miniatures in a couple of these larger buildings, there you can see, and that makes it a little bit more sturdy, but you know, again, they're pretty flimsy and will move around during the game, so I think a bit of work with some foam core and some glue and I'll be able to make these a lot more sturdy. But for an introductory game, I think this is a nice setup. I must admit, I do pine for the old days of when you used to buy something like Necromunda and get fantastic multi-story terrain with plastic bits and all the rest of it, but sadly those days have gone. I mean, due to the cost of these things, they really have to try and do it as cheaply as possible, especially when you're dealing with quite a lot of metal miniatures, which are obviously very expensive these days. So keeping it within the cost point, I think they've done a pretty good job in giving you a good area to play games over. Apparently this is a bit smaller than your average Infinity games, but we'll just be using this for our few starter games, and then I'll start introducing my own terrain. It's certainly colourful, and that's a nice thing to see. That's a nice change from my usual very grey, somewhat drab battlefields. And here's the main meat of the set, which are the metal miniatures. And you can see there's quite a bit of construction to be done then. They're quite fiddly little metal miniatures, beautifully detailed. But this is probably for the slightly more experienced modeler, because there's very small parts and construction to be done. Let's have a look in the introductory rulebook and see if it gives you any tips on construction. Probably not, but it shows you pictures of the final miniatures, so you can use those as a guide. Here you can see the miniatures that you get with the set. These are the Nomads. Beautiful miniatures. And this is Pan-Oceania. Here's a look at the miniatures that come with the Operation Ice Storm set. I've assembled these, put a bit of basing on, and primed them. So these are ready to paint, and as you can see, they're beautifully detailed figures. This is the Pan-Oceania faction. And they fit together very nicely. They're all metal, very easy to assemble. Unfortunately, in my set, I got two duplicates and missed out on one figure, but I emailed Corvus Belli, and they very quickly responded to me and said that a replacement is in the mail. So I was impressed with the customer service. These are the Nomads. As you can see, the detail is quite stunning, just beautiful figures, and should be a pleasure to paint. So, Infinity. Excuse me, I'm not quite on the ball today. As I said, I've got a bit of a cold, not feeling my usual rambunctious self. But I'm hoping to get this game on the tabletop soon and do some battle reports. And in fact, the introductory rulebook comes with some starting scenarios. So my friend Will and I might work our way through some of those starting scenarios with you, so you can see what it's like for a total beginner to get into Infinity. Because I am a total beginner with this game, even though I've played a lot of miniatures games over the years. So I look forward to that, and see you then. For the moment, this is Infinity Operation Ice Storm.